tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. So there's some very important clapping in here, and we need your help. It goes like this. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. That was really good clapping. And now I need your voices. And if anyone wants to move a little closer, I know we're not so many people in this big giant room. We'd love to have you be a little closer to us. Those of you in the back, if you want to move a little closer, we'd love it. And now I need your voices. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Truly, truly, how good it is to be together on this Shabbat morning to celebrate with Shirley and her entire family and gathered friends on this joyous day. We know we have lots of you watching online, and we are so glad that you are joining us as well. We'd love for you to write in the chat and say hello. If you're watching on our website, you can click the little gear icon next to the submit button, change your username so we know who's chiming in throughout the service, but we are glad that you are with us. If you are here with us in the room, now is a great moment to reach into your pocket, turn off anything that rings, jingles, or buzzes so that we can all be present for each other in this space. But we are glad that you are here with us as well. And now is also a fantastic moment to greet the people around you so that we can build a community of prayer, turn to the people near you, wish them Shabbat Shalom, introduce yourselves if you don't know them.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Now that we have greeted each other, I want you to take a prayer book from the back of the seat in front of you. If you're in a front row, you might have to reach behind you. And this is a Hebrew prayer book, so it's going to open from right to left. And I'm going to have you turn to page 174. And sometimes it feels like we're up on a stage performing a show for you. But actually, we are all, everyone in this room, part of a sacred drama here together. And so we need your voices, we need your spirit and energy throughout this service. Your greatest gift to Shirley can be just participating and lending your voice. Even if you don't know the words sometimes, I try to give opportunities for yai, lai, lai, and clapping so it feels really comfortable. Mistakes are allowed. So I wanted to warm up our voices this morning with a prayer about our souls being restored. That's what we find here on 174. It's a good time to just take a deep breath. It's Shabbat. And it goes like this. Elohai, Elohai. Let's try together. Elohai, Elohai. So beautiful. Listen. Neshama, neshama, let's try it. Neshama, neshama, beautiful. This is the trickiest part. Shenatata bi, shenatata bi. Ready? Shenatata bi, shenatata bi. Beautiful. Tehorahi. Together, Tehorahi, Tehorahi. That's the whole thing. Let's try from the beginning. Elohai, Elohai, Elohai. neshama, 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 shenatata bi, shenatata bi, shenatata bi, tehorahi, tehorahi, tehorahi. Small but mighty.
Yes, you sound great. We continue on page 195. Shirley, who is becoming a bat mitzvah this morning, will lead us in prayer, receive the Torah as it's passed through the generations, and read the parsha in the presence of the congregation. I call forward Shirley at this time and invite you please to rise in body or in spirit for Baruch Hu.
Adonai Hamevora Baruch Adonai Hamevora Hamevora Leolam Baed Hamevora Hamevora Leolam Baed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvoreh choshech, oseh shalom uvoreh et hakol. This prayer is about the wonder of creation. I want to share a creative reflection that is not on the page in front of you. I have been told by numerous friends to go touch grass. Lately, I've been taking their advice. Whenever I feel stressed or overwhelmed, I go outside and smell the winter air, which is quite a luxury when you live in Houston. I remember when it snowed a few years back. I barely got to see it, which I still regret to this day. I was so busy with school that by the time I got outside, it was too late. The snow had already melted. The moral of this story is sometimes you get so busy with life that moments that could turn out to be precious memories pass you by. So, go touch grass, because you never know what you are missing out on. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer Chamerot. We continue responsively on page 199. Page 199. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity.
We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel, and joyfully we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose.
May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir in our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Chabocher be'amo Yisrael be'achava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבביך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתיהם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם. We read together on the bottom of page 203. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children in the generations to come. The sound of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
But we start with Yai Lai. I hope you'll join me. Yai Lai, 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 Lai. Yai Lai, 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 Lai. Yai Lai, 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 Yai Lai, Yai Lai, Lai. Yai Lai, 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 Yai Lai, 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 Lai. And we sing Mi Chamocha, Mi Chamocha Ba'im Adonai.
The service continues on pages 205 and 206. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotzeinu v'Imotzeinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר רזדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו ואחווה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל התורה להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בהסר, מחייך כל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, הוא מתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
I'm going to invite Shirley to return to her seat, and we remain standing as we continue our Amidah with the Kedusha on pages 208 and 209. This is a prayer about the holiness of God, the holiness we feel around us on this day. And this prayer gives us an opportunity to feel this holiness with our bodies. And when we get to that word for holy, the word is kadosh. We hear it 3 times each time we go up on our toes to feel just a little holier. We'll do that again on every time the text is indented. I'll show you those spots so that we can feel this holiness together as a community. Nikadesh, Nikadesh. ככתוב על יד נביאיך, וקרא זה לזה ואמר, קדוש, קדוש, קדוש אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו, אדיר, אדירנו, אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו, והוא ישמיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue with our celebration of Shabbat with Vishamru on page 210. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat we try to become attuned to holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
We pray together a prayer for peace. There are just 2 words. It's on page 216, but all the words we need are Sim and Shalom. Sim Shalom, make peace in this world. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Let it begin with me. Let's try it together. Here we go. Sim Shalom, Shalom, Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Let it begin with me. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace, peace will come. Let it begin with me. Let's sing Sim Shalom again. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Let it begin with me. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace, peace will come. Let it begin with me.
We take a few moments now for silent prayer and gratitude. We come now to Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of Torah, which begins on page 244. We invite Shirley back up along with her parents, Ronit and Eppelbaum and Matthias Ochman, and grandparents Teresa Popilov Alvarez, Miguel Alvarez, Tova Friedman Ochman, and Samuel Ochman for the honor of the Torah passing. And we invite you once again to turn to page 244.
Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malachutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai melech leolam va'ed. Adonai us le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, and to observe faithfully the words of this Torah. And let their children, who do not yet know it, hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God.
We invite up now our ark openers, Raphael Ochman, Ariadna Fasona Eppelbaum, Nariela Fasona Eppelbaum, and Joaquin and Olivia Ochman. To open the ark, we invite you please to rise in body or in spirit.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim. Awesome. Let's get that back.
This is heavy. Not just physically heavy, as you will experience shortly, but also a heavy responsibility that we are placing in your arms on this morning of your bat mitzvah. This is the story of our people, passed down from generation to generation. In it is truth and possibility and many places to question and wonder. And in just a moment, we're going to put all of that in your arms. And hopefully you'll take all of that into your heart. And let this story be a part of your story, just like you are a part of this story. And hold it in your heart and pass it to the generations that come after you as the gift that it has always been. We hope it feels heavy, but mostly we hope it feels like a gift.
And so you'll hear the words Lador Vador, which mean from generation to generation. You are standing here today, and you link back through the generations of your family all the way to Abraham and Sarah. You are who you are because of who they are. And also you bring your own unique spirit. You become our teacher today, and we are so honored to learn from you.
In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Lecha Adonai הממלכה וימית נעשה לכל ראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו
For you. Surely, going through the pictures of your life for the video montage, I was enjoying your transformation from baby to girl and from girl to young woman. During this entire process, I could recognize all the qualities that define you today as a person. These qualities are empathy, sense of humor, love, and kindness, to name just a few. What is most important, despite some complicated times we experience as a family, you only let these amazing qualities flourish, and you were never defined by negative experiences. Even though this is something you did, I believe family and Judaism also played an important role in the process. Today, on the day you become a Jewish woman, I would like to tell you in front of friends and family, may God continue to grant you the ability to continue growing, embracing only the most positive aspects of life. I love you.
It wasn't you.
ChatGPT.
Ahora mi turno. Hola, mi amor. Since the moment I saw you for the first time, I knew you were like music to me. A peaceful and contagious loving energy that does not need to be explained with words because it speaks by itself. Today, the day you officially become a Jewish young adult, I want you to know how much I admire you for who you are and for all the work you put in every day to become the best version of yourself. Your empathy, compassion, sense of social justice, generosity, resilience, and clever sense of humor speak by themselves about the kind of person you are. Like music, the energy that spreads from your soul is not only needed by me, but also enjoyed and deeply appreciated. May God always bless you with a loving and supportive community like the one you are surrounded by today, with the strength to speak your truth and express your feelings, with the maturity to understand that you should always be as kind and empathetic with yourself as you are with others, and with the opportunity to create the life you want for yourself and the society you're part of. The world is a better place because of you, and I am honored to be your mom. Te amo.
So Shirley is going to read this morning from Parshat Mishpatim in the book of Exodus. If you would like to follow along, that'll be in the red books in front of you. The red books in front of you, beginning on page 580 and continuing on page 581, Exodus chapter 3, beginning at chapter 23, beginning at verse 1. For the honor of the first Aliyah this morning, we call up Shirley's grandparents, aunts, and uncles. We call up Zeta Samuel, Grandma Tova, Aunt Galia, Aunt Tamara, Aunt Marcela, Uncle Juan, Uncle Avi, and Uncle Antonio.
Uncle Shlomo. Okay. Yamdu Aliyah LeTorah.
Come gather around this microphone.
Do you want to all gather?
Grandparents, come. There we go.
Which part? Baruch et Adonai Hamarach.
Baruch Adonai
Hamarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher בחרנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
אמן. לא תישא שם עכשיו, אל תשת ידך עם רשע, להיות אל המס. לא תחיה אחרי רבים לרעות, ולא תענה על ריב לנטות, אחרי רבים לקטות. ודל לא תדר בריבו, כי תבקע שור רבך, או חמורו טועה, אשר תשיבנו לו.
Closing blessing.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת האמת, וחיי העולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Thank you. You can take your seats.
Yasher koach.
For the honor of the second Aliyah, we call up Shirley's grandparents, aunts, uncles, and dear friends, Grandma Tenny, Grandpa Miguel, Uncle Sebastian, Aunt Cynthia, and dear friends Marcelo, Gustavo, and Mariana.
Yamdu Aliyah LeTorah. If you want to go over there with them.
Come gather around this microphone.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך,
Baruch Adonai Hamarach le'olam va'ed.
ברוך מבורך לעולם ועד,
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen. כי תראה המור שונאך רובץ תחת מסעו ובדלת מעזוב לו עזוב תעזוב עמו לא תתם משפט אביונך בריבו מדבר שקר תרחק ונקי וצדיק אל תחרוג כי לא הצדיק רשע ושוחד לא תיקח כי השוחד יעבר פיקים ויסלף דברי צדיקים.
Closing blessing.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורה באמת בחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. יישר כוח. יישר כוח. יישר כוח. No.
Okay, this is it. This is the big moment. I don't want anybody to miss what's about to happen. You already know this. In just a moment, you are going to say a blessing on behalf of everyone here. Everyone is going to say amen to the blessing you said on all of our behalves, your first ritual act as a Jewish adult, and in that moment, poof, you become a Jewish adult. Are you ready for that moment of transformation? Are you sure? Okay, I guess. All right. Well, we're going to take that as an affirmative.
And we're going to call you by your Hebrew name. Tamod, Tamod, Abachura bat Mitzvah, Shirli bat Ronit veMatityahu aliyah leTorah.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. אשר בחרבנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
וגר לא תלחץ ואתם ילדתם את נפש הגר כי גרים הייתם בארץ מצרים 6 שנים תזרע את ארצך ועזבת את תבואתה והשביעית תשמעתנה ונטשתה ואכלו אביוני עמך ויתרם תאכל חיית השדה כן תעשה לכרמך לזיתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת בחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Mazel tov, Yesher Koach.
You stand with them. Okay.
We are going to take a moment now while the Torah is in our midst, this moment of God's special attention, to offer a prayer for healing and wholeness and hope. The words of Misha Berach can be found on page 253.
May the source of strength
rise as we redress the Torah scroll. You may be seated. Shirley is going to read now from the Haftorah, the additional portion from the writings and the prophets. If you would like to follow along, you can find it on page 714 in the Red Book, page 714, Jeremiah chapter 34, verses 8 and 9. Just a word about the Haftorah reading this morning. One of the commandments in this week's Torah portion is about the release of slaves. And so the Haftorah portion is also about that. Jeremiah lives in a time when there was a group of slaves that were supposed to have been set free years ago. And Jerusalem was under siege, and there was a call for a blanket emancipation of these slaves as a way to appease God. But then the siege was lifted, and the landowners refused. Jeremiah is condemning this, echoing the phrase from Leviticus chapter 25, proclaim liberty throughout the land, which is also on the Liberty Bell. And I think that this is a really important message, especially for someone who cares about justice in this world, is that the path towards justice is not always linear. The progress that we make does not always only go forward. There are sometimes steps backward. And in those moments where people who say they want to do the right thing, but then when it becomes inconvenient for them are suddenly less interested in doing the right thing, we need people like you, we need people like Jeremiah, who are going to hold us to account and hold us to our highest possibilities. And so it's a really beautiful portion for you to have. And when you're ready, the blessing before Haftorah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar binbim tovim veratza v'divreihem hane'emarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai הבוחר בתורה ובמשה עבדו ובישראל עמו ומנביאי האמת והצדק.
Amen.
הדבר אשר היה אל ירמיהו מאת אדוני אחרי קירות המלך צ'דקיהו ברית את כל העם אשר בירושלים לקרוא לכם טרור לשלח איש את עבדו ואיש את שפחתו העברי והעברייה חופשים לבלתי עבוד בם בייחודי הכיחו איש ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם צור כל העולמים צדיק בכל הדורות האל הנאמן האומר ועושה המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמחה בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
Now, as we prepare to return the Torah to the Ark, we invite up our Ark openers, Raphael Ochman, Noah Lavi, Omri Lavi, and Tamara Gitlin to open the Ark. We invite you please to rise. For I have given you good instruction. Do not abandon my Torah. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Return us to you, Adonai, and we will return. Renew our days as of old.
Eitz chaim למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר. דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם.
You can return to your seats. Nicely done.
I go with Rabbi.
Not done with you yet. We now invite up for a presentation from our board, Jennifer Stockel, to present a few gifts. Welcome.
Shirley, your becoming bat mitzvah is a day of celebration, not just for you, but for the entire Jewish people. I am delighted to be here this morning as a member of the Board of Trustees to wish you and your family a mazal tov. I've had the privilege of getting to know your extraordinary mom at Schlenker this year, and I know how proud she and your entire family are of you. Today marks a special event in your life, and I want you to know how much pride the temple takes in your accomplishments. So I have several presentations for you. Sisterhood presented you with a Chai certificate indicating they have made a donation in your honor to their Youth, Education, and Special Projects Fund. Additionally, the congregation gives you 3 gifts. First, thanks to the generosity of the Barish family and their dedication to Israel education, when you choose to remain enrolled and regularly attend upper school in our Helfman Religious School, you will have the amazing opportunity to travel to Israel with your temple friends for a free 4-week trip during the summer after your 10th or 11th grade year. Second, our sisterhood presented you with a $100 Mazal Tov Israel Savings Bond, which will mature in 5 years, about the time you graduate high school. And finally, you have a personalized embossed copy of the Plaut Modern Torah Commentary, in which you'll always be able to look back and find your Torah portion so that you can continue to learn and study Torah. We hope you will use it often throughout your life. Mazal tov to you and your family. We are very proud of you.
You ready? What? Yes. How?
My parsha is Mishpatim in the book of Exodus. In it, God called forth 70 elders, including Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and more, to lay out many of the basic rules of Judaism. Moses repeated the rules to the elders where they responded, "All the things that the Eternal has commanded, we will do." Some examples of these rules are, if you see your enemy's lost ox, return it to them. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. And most importantly, do not oppress the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. In an article written by Rabbi Anna Bonheim, she says, "The Jew's identification with the stranger has provided generations of Jews a connection with hope of a better future, and today it provides a moral compass for modern Jews. This is important to me because it shows how we, as the Jewish people, take our past suffering and use it to understand the suffering of others. This helps us empathize with them and see the world through their eyes. There are billions of people in the world, and we all need to learn to coexist. The best way to do that is to understand each other. Our Jewish commitment to emphasize helps us to build a world of coexistence." This past summer, I went to a summer camp where I didn't know very many people, and the people I did know I was not very close with. I was extremely nervous because I had never been to a sleepaway camp before. Also, the Jewish community in Houston is very tight-knit. I knew that since I was starting camp in the 6th grade, all of the groups would have already been set, and it would have been harder for me to make friends. My concern was proven right when I arrived, and it seemed like everybody already knew each other. I decided to take a chance and went up to a friend that I recognized from a retreat. I reintroduced myself, and they were so nice. They introduced me to their friends, and suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. The reason I chose this story to tell is because in this context, I was a stranger. After having had that experience, I have a better understanding of what it is like to be alone in a strange place. And because I went through that, I am better equipped to help someone that is currently experiencing it. I can remember how good it felt when that girl took me and introduced me to all of her friends. I hope that if I am ever in a situation where I see someone who might feel like a stranger, I can do the same for them. The main idea of my Torah portion is empathy. The commandment basically said, treat others the way you would like to be treated. By doing that, we are creating a better, happier world. For my Mitzvah project, I have been working with Jewish Family Service to make Shabbat boxes for people in the hospital. Their mission is to spread Shabbat joy to people who may not be able to celebrate with their loved ones. I chose this as my project because I wanted to make someone's day better. Even though I've never had to spend a long time in the hospital, thankfully, I can still use my empathy to imagine how difficult that might feel. I hope that these boxes will help people to feel less lonely. For my Tzedakah project, I will be donating a portion of the monetary gifts I got from my bat mitzvah to the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoptions. They are a national nonprofit dedicated to finding forever families for the more than 140,000 children waiting to be adopted from foster care in the United States and Canada. As many of you may know, my brother was recently adopted. He has brought so much joy into our lives, and because of this, adoption holds a very special place in my heart. I genuinely want for others to have what we have. As much as I would like to say that I did this all by myself, that is not the case. So many people contributed to me becoming a bat mitzvah and the person who I am today. Thank you to all the clergy, staff members, and teachers that have helped me prepare for this day. I literally couldn't have done this without you. Thank you to all my friends. You guys have helped me learn and grow to be a better person. You guys have given me the confidence to be the loud, funny version of myself that you know and hopefully love. Thank you to all of my aunts, uncles, and cousins who have been cheering me on from the sidelines. I'm so grateful that you are here. Oh, wait, I forgot. I have a lot of grandparents to thank, so let's get started. Thank you to Tenny and Mikey. This past summer, you guys took me and Osmin to the circus. There were acrobats and gymnasts everywhere. It was such a magical experience. I am telling this story because Osmin is a gymnast and loves that stuff. That is his passion. And you guys are always encouraging me to follow us in our You guys are always supporting us in our passions and encouraging me to follow my dreams. Thank you to my abukati. I love you so much. You make the best pasta in the world. Once, when I visited you, my mom and I got you a fish as a surprise. I was very young at the time, so I chose this really tacky fish. When we came back and showed you, we were so happy. We immediately started coming up with names for the fish. That was a truly wonderful day that I got to spend with you. I would like to thank Zayda and Tova. You both have helped me so much. When I was younger, every time that I would visit you, I would grab my Tia Tamara's old coloring book. I would sit in her old room and color for hours. This summer, I was able to revisit you guys, and I finally reunited with that coloring book after years. And that is what I love about you guys. Everything is a beautiful memory that is waiting to be rediscovered with pictures and books. I truly would not be able to stand up here as a bat mitzvah without you all. Thank you to Osmin. I have known you since you were 2, and we have been through it all together. All of the highs, like your first trip to Argentina, and the lows, like that time you made me wait in the freezing cold just so you could score on the wrong goal in soccer. I would be happy to go through it all again for you. I wouldn't trade you for the world. Now the good stuff. Thank you, Papa. I inherited a lot of things from you, but probably one of the most apparent is our senses of humor. I have had friends that after they come to our house say, "Oh, so that's where you get it from." All jokes aside, you have supported me in nearly everything I do. And I know I don't say this nearly as much as I should, but I love you and appreciate everything you do for us. I rate being your daughter a 10 out of 10. Actually, a 9 out of 10. There's room for improvement. Last but not least, I would like to thank my mom. I would also like to apologize for all of the movies my dad and I ruined for you. Since I was little, you have been making me a better, more confident person. The amount of conflicts you have gotten me through is ridiculous. You are always willing to share your experiences with me, and it means a lot. It helps me navigate my way through life knowing that I'm not alone. Thank you so much for being my mom. For this last bit, I was asked to talk about what being a bat mitzvah means to me. I would like to broaden this question to, what does being Jewish mean to me? Ever since I was young, I have been exposed to different degrees of Judaism. This has sort of mixed up my definition of being Jewish. Throughout my bat mitzvah experience, I have been working to find the answer to what Judaism means to me. So now I can stand here confidently and say that I have no idea. There's this great thing about being Jewish. It is that you can't define it. I don't have to keep kosher or wear knee-length skirts. Those don't define me as a Jew. But there is something that does matter, though: kindness. Throughout all of the branches of Judaism I have experienced, the common theme is being the best version of yourself. I once heard this story, that the world is like a broken wall. With every kind deed, another brick is added to the wall. When the wall is fully rebuilt, the Messiah will come and the world will be restored to its original beauty. With the knowledge I have gained from this experience, I hope to add a few bricks of my own. Thank you so much for coming today to support me. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Don't give me that. Wow. What a beautiful teaching. What a beautiful gift that you have given with your chanting of Torah, with your chanting of Haftorah, but especially with this message that you gave us today. I am always fascinated to see what our students are drawn to in the Torah portion, and particularly in this Torah portion, in Parshat Mishpatim, because Mishpatim has all of these different laws about, as you said, all different parts of Jewish life, so what is going to call out to the student? And you knew right away that the thing that you were most interested in amongst all these laws was the message about welcoming the stranger and loving the stranger. And I think it speaks to The fact that your family knows a lot about what it means to welcome strangers, to be strangers, to build communities that welcome strangers, and I think it speaks to your empathy. The theme that you knew that you wanted to explore through this commandment was empathy. And you are a person, I think, who feels deeply for the world, who is able to use your own experiences to imagine open-heartedly the experiences of others, and that is a beautiful gift that not everyone can do. And it's something that you teach us. I have, in the process of working with you, admired your maturity, your curiosity. You ask really brilliant questions about the Parsha. And I have loved your sense of humor and the way that you can take your Jewish identity seriously without taking everything too seriously has been a real gift as I have had the chance to study with you. I want to talk to you just briefly about one of the commandments you didn't choose, but you did read to us this morning, where it says, when you see your enemy's donkey crouching beneath a burden, hold back from abandoning him, release it together with him, with your enemy. And this is an interesting and I think actually really challenging commandment, right? Which asks us to look at even someone who we deeply dislike, maybe someone who's hurt us, maybe someone who is really hard to be in relationship with, and to hold an awareness that they are also a person, that they also have needs, and to hold an awareness for this animal that isn't influenced by your relationship with this person. There is a midrash on this interpretation of this commandment from the Mechilta to Rabbi Ishmael, where our sages say that when it says you must release the burden together with him, what with him means is that you are obligated to help the donkey as long as its owner is still with it. But if he walks away saying the mitzvah obligates you and not me, then you have no such obligation. I think this is a really interesting interpretation. It says that you are obligated to help your enemy, but only in so much as the enemy is also there and present and helping also. If they walk away and say, this is your problem, not mine, then you're no longer obligated. You might still do the right thing for the donkey, but not for your enemy. And I think that there are two really important components of this that are, I hope, lessons that you might take from it. And lesson number one is, you might misread this commandment to say that you must care for people even who hurt you. And what the Mechilta to Rabbi Ishmael is saying is that that is a slight misreading, which is you can try and repair and hold the humanity of people who are also trying, but if they are going to continue to harm you, continue to reject you, continue to put up that wall, you are not obligated to try and keep diving into that relationship that does you harm. So the first lesson that I hope you take from this is don't misunderstand the commandment I love your empathy, and your empathy might sometimes call you to be in relationships that are hurtful, and you are, according to Jewish tradition, never obligated to stay in those relationships when it's doing you harm. The second lesson that I think is really important is we can think also about this enemy who says, that's your problem, but not mine. And I think the Mechilta to Rabbi Ishmael has a real problem with anyone who looks at the world, who looks at some brokenness in the world and says, that's your problem, not mine. That's your obligation, not mine. And so I want you in your life, and I think you are already this person, but to continue to be the person who looks at a problem, sees this struggling donkey, and doesn't say, well, that's someone else's problem, but says that's my problem. It says that I have some obligation here. When you see someone who's hurting, when you see some brokenness in the world, to continue to be the kind of person who says, that's my obligation, that's my problem. So my hope for you is twofold on this morning of your bat mitzvah. One is that you remember to care for yourself in the same way that you care for others, which was the beautiful message that your mother gave you. And the second is that you continue to care for the world deeply and empathetically, because that is your gift to this world. I want to wish you mazel tov on all that you have accomplished this morning. And now I'm going to invite you to sit back with your parents, and Cantor Simmons has a blessing in the form of a song.
So Ronit shared this really beautiful song with me, which I had heard before but never had sung. And I just want to share the translation first. With a prayer that rises up, all that breathes will praise God. Give us a blessing of peace, guard our homes, bring us closer to the dream within us. Let us see blessing in what we do, or maybe in touching grass. Open our hearts so we can always sing for you. בתפילה, אמן, שעולה, אמן, כל הנשמה תהלליה, אמן, ותן ברכת שלום ושמור על ביתנו, קרב אותנו לחלום שבתוכנו, תן תמיד ברכה במעשה ידינו, פתח ליבנו שתמיד נשיר לך, אלוהי, אמן. תקוותיי, אמן. עטוף אותנו באהבה, So we now invite Shirley and her parents one more time to join us in front of the open ark for some more blessings, never enough blessings. And as we open the ark, we ask you all to please rise. יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you and keep you.
יאיר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God's light shine on you and be gracious to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
May God lift God's face to you and give you God's most precious gift, the gift of wholeness, the gift of peace. And we say together, Amen.
Amen.
We continue with Aleinu L'Shabeach, which can be found in the middle of page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות
Just a few brief congregational announcements. Tomorrow, Sunday, February 19th, is our Houston-wide Jewish Community Yom Limud Day of Learning. You can learn with our scholar-in-residence, Dr. Christine Garraway. You can learn from Rabbi Hayon. You can learn from me. Come and learn from all of the teachers, many talented clergy, educators, and leaders in our community. Also, on Tuesday, February 21st at 7:30 p.m., Emmanuel is excited to welcome Professor Paul Lips for a community lecture, Changing Realities, Israel After the Election, as part of the 29th Bunny and Leo Horvitz Scholar-in-Residence program, Israel at 75, The Fascinating Story of Modern Israel. And we hope that you will join us, if you're still here in town, for our Purim Spiel, Mamma Mia Megillah. We will sing and dance to the rocking 70s beats of all your favorite ABBA tunes, complete with bell-bottoms and disco flair. We hope you will join us on Sunday, March 5th at 10 a.m. here in the Barish Sanctuary. We turn now to a moment of memory. On this day of celebration, Shirley and her family are remembering many dear ones who are here with us in spirit. Grandpa Noel Eppelbaum, Lazaro and Ada Eppelbaum, Saul and Booby Eppelbaum, Sarah Beer and Jamie DeWitowicz, Jaime and Tima Hochman, Rena Schwartzman and Giorgio Popolov, Elias and Rosa Friedman, Mariana Alvarez and Francisco Tobuada. We also, our heart goes out in sympathy as a congregation to the family of Carol Feld, who was laid to rest in recent days. The words of Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. We invite you, please, to rise in body or in spirit. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'al michmal chutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'galau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivorach le'olam omea maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yichromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithale v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'ne'emata, damiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav.
Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Please be seated as we turn now from Kaddish to Kiddush. We invite Shirley back up. We thank the Ochman family for providing this week's challah and wine in honor of Shirley becoming bat mitzvah this weekend. We invite up also her brother Raphael and her cousins to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi.
I'll wait. Should I go? Okay.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. And the motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Can share.
Who wants help?
We close this morning with our prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom, page 343. Oseh Shalom b'mramav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom
rise for our closing benediction. Mikor Chaim Uvracha, our source of life and blessing, we thank you for the many joys of this day. May we, as a result of having been here in this community today, be called into possibility. May we be called into hope. But most importantly, may we be called into empathy, into our ability to see in others some of what we know of ourselves, to hold space for ourselves and to hold space for others. We thank you for the many blessings in our lives, and we say together, Amen.
Shabbat
Shalom.
shalom.